Many films are reviewed and many games are replayed. What if a zombie apocalypse happens? What do you need to know about zombies, and what skills do you need to be able to survive? Which weapon is best used, gunshot or cold? Is it better to use a primitive shack or your own homemade bunker, a homemade bow or a gun against zombie, or something else? What will your choice be in the world of zombies? And we have the top 10 YouTubers who will undoubtedly survive in the zombie apocalypse using their incredible skills and abilities. The skill to get food will almost be the main ability in post-apocalyptic life. Nick and Caleb are guys from the Taradara Bros channel who knows how to do it like no other. How to make a primitive spear out of bamboo, and not just do it, but get your dinner with a spear.
Oh my god! There we go. Oh, the prongs broke. What you just got to do?
It's about hunting for fish with a bow and arrow.
Got it! Oh my, I got it!
The guys have mastered the skills of survival in the wild. They even move without shoes, whether it's a pond, a field road, or a rough stone surface. And what about cooking? Nick and Caleb are real professionals in this, and the use of fresh lemons during the preparation of a dish has become kind of the channel's trick. On the whole, they are the real Robinsons. They even managed to catch a rabbit bare-handed, and right after successful shots, the mammal was released. Next will be the shelter and homemade bunker of Colin Furs. Speaking of Colin, he was born in Britain, and at the age of 16 he left school and he started to assemble pipelines and toilets. Colin became a plumber, but in time he realized that the pipes and toilets were not his vocation, and he began to invent. These were a jet bike, carts, devices of Marvel superheroes, and of course any inventions in style. Survive at any cost. One of the first things we need in the post-apocalyptic world is the shelter, of course. In this business, Colin's talent is great. Making up the uncomplicated plan of the bunker, which we now see in the picture, Furs immediately got to clear the backyard on which the shelter should be located according to his idea. A lot of heavy equipment was involved. The groove was dug with an excavator. The next step was to lay the foundation of the hopper with 6 tons of steel sheets. It was a long routine work for cutting, welding, and installation, which turning pieces of metal into walls and long steel beams into the roofs of a future bunker. Concrete mixer appeared on the horizon. 60 cubic meters of liquid concrete densely filled the space between the steel walls of the bunker and the ground cover. Adding another 15 tons of gravel and ground, Colin blocked the recently opened place with paths from artificial grass. And finally, the culmination of the moment. You can get into the bunker only through a secret hatch located in the shed in the backyard. Descending the stairs and passing a short corridor, we find ourselves in the main room of this shelter. It seems that the post-apocalyptic bunker looks much more comfortable than the condominium of the average citizen. There is everything for a comfortable stay in the case of zombie apocalypse. Kitchen, toilet, bed, comfortable sofa, and huge plasma. There is even a drum set here. The important thing is that there are weapons here. As you already understand, the weapon will be self-made in a homemade bunker. Termite cannon will be one of the most vivid self-made works. A gun for firing checkers from termite. The termite burns at a temperature of 2,300 plus degrees and burns everything in its path. Of course, this weapon is more spectacular than effective. Therefore, we move on to the next and more practical. A balloon with compressed air and propane in a backpack, an igniter on the wrist, and can be set on fire. Possessing such a device, a person can throw flames at a distance of more than 3 meters, cook toasts, scare neighbors, or comfortably set fire to a herd of zombies. But Wolverine claws from the X-Men movie will probably be the most effective in this case. You can see the pneumatic installation of the back of furs, which allows the claws to pop out so quickly they are very sharp and will cut everything in its way. The weapon will be next, and who first comes to your mind? Of course, it will be a favorite guy for all Americans, with a funny Russian accent from the FPS Russia channel.
It's blasting huge holes up there. Check this out.
He, like no one else, owns a firearm, and no matter what it is, a rifle or an automatic, a flamethrower or even an RPG. Ultimately, he is able to control a tank. This funny guy takes an honorable place on our list. The little question arises, if we talk about the zombie apocalypse, what weapons are better to use? Gunshot or cold? Jamie and Adam from Mythbusters and their friend Michael Rooker, who played the role of Merle Dixon in the famous The Walking Dead series, undertook to check, what is more effective, the axe or the pistol? As a result of the experiment, it turned out that a shotgun or a pistol is not as effective against a large herd as an ordinary axe. Since zombies move very slowly, it will be many times easier to deal with them with an axe, sword, or something sharper. Next person on our list, namely to the guy from the ZNA production channel. He makes cold arms for any kind of performance. How to make the most primitive and cheap bow of PVC tubes or turn a regular shovel into a throwing spear is an easy task. Axes, sharp swords, blades are all that can be said about a cool guy with ZNA production. And do not doubt that he would have been one of the first to pierce a walking dead with his self-made spear in the zombie apocalypse. Well, we can't say much about these guys because the name of their cool team speaks for itself. They are called Zombie Go Boom. It's enough just to look at their thumbnail pictures to understand that everything here is devoted to the same topic. Sharp axes and swords, blades, all trivial and non-trivial ways to confront flocks of walking dead. A mannequin made from ballistic gel and filled with artificial blood acts as a victim in their video. The guys find out the effectiveness of different types of weapons with the help of this gelatinous zombie, and agree that all this looks very realistic and artificial blood betrays its atmosphere. The guys tried every possible cold weapon that can only be imagined for 6 experiments. Without a doubt, they will be the first team to eliminate the Walking Dead. If we look further, we'll find a channel called Primitive Technology. This is the case when the title corresponds to the content, because everything you see in his video is done with the most primitive things. For example, he can only light a fire exceptionally with the help of sticks, no matches or lighters or additional things. The hut, which was built with his own hands and made of clay and wood. Dishes for food and pots for water recruitment was made and then baked using clay was in his account. The military arsenal is also impressive. The simplest bow, and what's even more interesting is the primitive stone axe, which, in addition to its formidable form, also copes well with its task. As the author says, he does not live in wild conditions, but only lives on the nature in Queensland in the north of Australia to shoot entertaining content and to do what he likes. He mastered all this skill thanks to books, internet, and also to trials and mistakes. If one day the technology moves back, the Flintstone guy from the Primitive Technology channel will be one of the first who will comfortably take root in such a world. Well, lastly, it would be foolish not to include a famous dude with a Russian accent in this list. Although, everything becomes clear if you look at the name of the channel. And this is Crazy Russian Hacker. Conducting experiments with different materials, he acquired the necessary knowledge and skills. Take at least his waterproof matches that will not get wet under any weather. By the same matches, you can set fire to his self-made alcohol stove, portable hot plate made with an ordinary tin can. Fill in alcohol, ignite waterproof matches, and it's ready. What's there to say? Apocalypse Starter Pack. Who is your favorite YouTuber from this list? Write it below, and that's all for today. Thank you all for watching.